Hi friends, it's me Stace. For today's video, we're making some DIY bird toys. We're going to be making this one here, lots of fun. This one here, that one, and also this one. So we're going to start with this one here. So what I have is just regular cupcake liners, and I have 8 of them. I did cut them down a little bit, maybe about a ½ inch or so off. I'm going to take them, I already went ahead and punched the hole in the center. And I'm taking 2 at a time and just kind of crinkling them up a little bit. It gives them more texture, which I think is more fun. All right, so we have those. Then I have 5 pieces of cardboard, and I cut these to be 2 by 2. Again, I punched a hole in the center. We're going to take some jute twine, and I'm using this darning needle. I use this for my crochet keychains. You can find them anywhere, just looking for a large eye. And we're going to thread that through some jute. I'm going to take a small bead and put that through. All right, now we're going to do a piece of cardboard. And then take 2 of your cupcake wrappers. They'll be crumbled up. And just thread them through. And then another bead on top of that. And a piece of cardboard on top of that. And we're just going to repeat that process. So it's a bead, 2 cupcake wrappers, a bead, and cardboard. I think the crinklier the cupcake the wrapper is, I think it's the better, because it makes noise, it's fun. All right. And these beads you can find pretty much everywhere. I think I got them off Amazon, but you can find them at most craft stores, probably even the Dollar Tree. And the cardboard, you want to make sure, I'm just using plain cardboard. You don't want to use any kind of waxed cardboard or one that has print on it. I'm not sure if the ink, it would be safe for the birds if they do chew it. All right, another piece of cardboard. 2 more beads, or 2 more cupcake wrappers. And then another bead. And our last piece of cardboard. Okay, so now that looks like this when you just kind of squish everything together. Isn't that fun? All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the end, and I'm going to tie a knot big enough to where it's not going to go through that bead. Just a few times. Nice and tight. All right, so I think that's good. Take my scissors, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off the remaining twine there. All right, let's find the other end. I do want to put a bead on the top. Let me wrap that again. Okay, 1 more bead on top of that one. And then I'm using these as my hangers. I use these also for my crochet keychains. This is like a plastic carabiner clip. They seem to work pretty good. We're just going to put that through. Then you want to determine how tall you want this to be. All right, so I'm going to go, I don't know, maybe 2 fingers. Just tie this into a knot around that clip. And again, you want a nice strong knot. And I'm going to do a few times, maybe 3 knots, just to make sure it's on there nice and secure. Okay, and then again, I'm going to cut off the extra. And that quickly, we have a really fun bird toy that your birds can chew on. All right, our next one, so that's this one right here. The next one, I used toilet paper tubes, and I do have one here. Now, you want to be cautious because there is adhesive on this, so just stay away from the adhesive part. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut 6 little strips. I'm going to do 3 on this side and flip it over and do 3 on that side because I can see where the adhesive is. Okay, and then I'm going to take a big bite. Let me grab that. If you don't have one of these, you can just use scissors to poke a hole through. And I'm going to use 6 of these pieces Get that under there. Okay. So now the same idea. Take some twine. And we're going to put a bead on the bottom first. Alrighty, and then we're going to thread these through. So I'm going to do one piece of the toilet paper tube and a bead. All right, it's going to cut the extra off on the end, tie that to a knot so the bead does not fall through. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the extra. All right, now you can have it to where it's not squished or squished. You can leave it more open like that. I like it being kind of in the middle. And I'm going to take this and tie a knot close to my bead there first, just to keep this where I want it to go. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and take this clip, put this in, and then again, figure out how tall you want it to be. And we're just going to tie a knot on this one. A few knots, nice and tight. And I get these clips off Amazon. I want to say you get 50 of them for like maybe $8. You can just look for plastic keychain clips and these should pop up. Alright, so there is our next little toy. How fun, right? Alright, so there's that one there. Alright, next we're going to make these ones here, but I'm going to hit pause. I want to grab something real quick. Alright, I am back. What I did is I went and got my bird's millet. This is just spring millet I got off Amazon. And I sprinkled some of the millet inside the cup, or the cupcake liner. I'm going to take my large bead, or medium-sized bead, put it in there, fold my paper over, use my needle to kind of poke a hole there, then bring the other piece over, leaving my bead still, putting my thing back in there, then putting it through the other side. You're going to lose some millet, as you can see. And then we're going to twist it. Otherwise, you're going to spend forever trying to find that hole. Okay, so I already went ahead and did the other 4 to save a little bit of time. All right, now we're going to take our twine. And I always start and end with one of those small beads. Let's grab a small bead. All right, we're just going to thread these through like candy. And I only did 5. You can do as many as you like. Okay, so we have those. Let's go ahead and cut the end. And again, just tie a small knot, or a knot big enough to where it's not going to go through the bead, or the bead won't come through that. Nice and tight. Okay, I'm going to trim off the extra there. And then take this one, put it through another of these clips. Oop, I need a bead on the top. I thought I put a bead there. Okay, and then just going to put this one through. Okay, then again, just figure out how tall you want it. I don't want it to be super tall. Nice and tight, and I'm going to do a few knots. Okay, again, cut off the extra. Okay, and that is toy number 3, right? All right, so let's set that one aside there. All right, now our next one here is made with coffee filters. So I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also put millet inside of this if you want to. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to take it and just basically crumble it up. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and take our twine again, and our needle, and a small bead for the bottom. And then we're just basically going to thread this on there. Just poke a hole through it. Easier said than done sometimes. I do have this little pick thing over here. You can always use a toothpick as well. Okay, so there's one. Get rid of that chunk right there. Okay. And then they're going to come unraveled, but I just think it's a fun, different kind of toy. Okay, so there's our second one. And again, all these things you can get at the Dollar Tree, so it's not going to cost a whole lot of money to make the toys compared to what you spend on toys. I mean, have you seen the price of bird toys? It is ridiculous. Even dog toys are ridiculous. I usually get our dog toys from the Dollar Tree because the minute I bring them home, within 5 minutes, they are chewed to pieces. So there's no sense spending money on a really big, expensive toy, right? They don't know the price of them. All right, so you're going to poke this through. Be careful. I've been known to poke my finger. And get that one in there. Let's poke it again. All right, get it in there. Okay, that is on there. Now another bead to finish it off. Okay, let's take this and again tie a knot. This would probably be a really good one to put the millet in. Okay, or their favorite treat or whatever it is. All right, now you can leave it. You can make it be as far apart as you want. You can make it be squishy. I'm going to kind of make mine kind of squishy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab another one of these clips. Actually, yeah, I already got the bead on there. Put this through. Bring it down. Actually, I'm going to bring it down. There we go. Okay. And I want it to be relatively short, so I'm going to try my best to get that knot close to that bead. Now, if you want to color your coffee filters, you can do so. Just use a food dye. Don't, think about markers or paint. You can also use popsicle sticks. I mean, they're a dime a dozen, right? Okay, so there's that one. That's just fun, right? Just fun, very textury. I love that one. And you can see this one I did a little bit more looser. It's completely up to you. All right, now the last one, this one, I don't have enough cupcake wrappers, but it's the same exact concept. Take the cupcake wrappers, crinkle them all up, poke a hole through them. I have a bead at the top and a bead at the bottom, and thread it through. Okay, so that quickly we made a bunch of bird toys. So we have this one and this one I made earlier. Okay, we have those two. We have these two just using coffee filters. This one and this one. This one has no millet. This one has millet in it. And then we made that one there and that one there. And again, this one you just make the same way we did the coffee filters, just by using cupcake liners. But there you go, my friends. Super easy 4 or 5 DIY bird toys. Any questions at all, please let me know. As always, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.